Hi everyone, it's Professor Fisher, and I wanted to just do a quick video on the Lab 04 assignment, Java Inheritance. This particular video was just going to talk through the assignment itself. So it's not going to get too deep into how to complete the assignment. I just want to make sure you understand it. So we have it here, and the objective in this one is to practice using the inheritance aspect of Java. So in this example, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Let's take a look at the contents. So we're going to have a main program, app.java, or the program that contains the main method. In that program, you're going to create one student athlete object, and you're going to display all the information about that student athlete object. You're also going to create 3 additional classes. So in this package, you will have 4 .java files, one that contains the main method, one that's person.java, one that's student.java, and one that's student athlete.java. And what we're going to do is the person class is going to contain the information, the generic information about a person, the first name, the last name, the age, their hometown, and then a method that does returns that string of information. Then your student.java is going to actually extend the person class. And the benefit of that is now the student has access to the attributes first name, last name, age, and hometown, as well as access to the method called getInfo. And we only add additional information that we need about the student, in this case, ID, major, and GPA. They're the new attributes. And we will want to override the getInfo method. So we're going to provide a second implementation of getInfo in the student class, and it's going to override the person class. And what that means is that anytime you instantiate an object that is of type class student, it will use the getInfo from the student class. If you create a person object and you use .getInfo, it's going to use the getInfo from the person class. All right, and then you're also going to add a third class, studentAthlete.java, that adds new attributes, sports, and ranking. So at this point, what other attributes exist for the student athlete? What do you think? Well, if you said that it includes first name, last name, age, and hometown, absolutely. But since it extends student, which extends person, it also includes a student ID, a student major, and a student GPA. And again, it has its own getInfo, which overrides the getInfo in the student class. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. Here we have a little bit more information about each class, and I think I already kind of covered this. In the second bullet point here, the student class, let's take a look at the bolded statement. The student has to call super. The keyword super means I want you to actually look for the method in the class that I'm extending for this particular method. So by calling super, it's going to call the constructor in the student class. It's going to call the constructor in the person class. So we're going to do that, and we're going to pass the parameters for the super class constructor. So for example, when we create a student class, in our student constructor, the very first statement is going to say super, and it's going to have whatever the constructor needs, which is first name, last name, age, and hometown. Okay, the student athlete is also calling super, and it will need to do a similar thing in passing all the values that you need in order to create a student athlete object. In the student athlete class, you're going to add a sport. Since it says football or track or soccer, volleyball, then go ahead and make that a unique string to keep that information. Normally, I think if you were going to do this, a student might actually be involved in more than one sport. But for this activity, let's go ahead and just include a sport. The ranking is going to create a random number between 0 and 100. I'm going to show you a nice, easy way to find a random number, especially since it's an integer between 0 and 100. All right, and then at the very bottom, it just kind of tells you what you need to do. All right, I'm going to bring over my NetBeans. Let me drag this over because I started this Lab 4 project. And so I just want to make sure everybody's good with creating these classes. So the first thing you want to do, oops, sorry, I think that my window here, let me bring, there we go. The first thing you want to do is right click on your package and you're going to say new and you're going to create a, whoops, sorry, a Java class called person. Use capital letters for the start of the class. That's the naming standard. I don't know why the course has it as lowercase, but please go ahead and use capitalization and click finish. All right, and then I'm going to create another one, and this one's going to be called student. All right, and in the student class, you're going to actually add on line 12 here that it extends the person class. And the last one I need to do is I need to add the student athlete. So let's do that. Student dash athlete. Okay, in the example, it shows a dash, but you can't actually use a dash in the naming. So I'm going to make it student athlete, and I'm going to click finish, and I'm going to add the extends student. All right, I'm not going to add any more code than that, other than I did want to show you how you can create a random number that gives you an integer between 0 and 100 relatively easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, random r equals new random, just like we did before. I'll have to import the library. So I can left click on the little light bulb here, and then I can click on add import for Java Util random, or I could have just typed it in. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say int and ranking, I think it was called, okay, is equal to, and I'm going to do r dot. Notice that the random number generator class actually has a lot of different methods available. And so what I want to do is I want to do a next int, and then you want to give it the values, since you want to give it one more than what your max value is. And so like right now I could just, well, I'm not even going to do that, but anyways, that's how you would actually create a random number between 0 and 100. You can use r.nextInt. There's also an r.nextDouble that is really useful as well. All right, for now, I just wanted to go over what the assignment is, and I will give you some coding tips as well, but I'll do that in a separate video.